So this is my Ruggedmade 22-ton log splitter. It's a push-through style, and if you've seen any of my videos, you know that I normally use a 4-way. Well, Ruggedmade offers a 6-way, and I contacted them and said, hey, will this 6-way work on my 22-ton? And they say, well, it's not really designed for the 22-ton. It's designed for the like 37-ton machine. I said, well, I'm willing to give it a try. So I purchased this 6-way right here in hopes that it would speed up my firewood production. You can clearly see it's a 6-way, and when you guys saw that I just put it on there, it was brand new. So this is the first thing I've ever run through it. Compared to my 4-way. This is what I normally use. This is what's always on the splitter unless I get something too big that needs to go through the single knife. Initial impressions, works better on the bigger rounds than the smaller ones. It seems like the smaller ones want to just get caught underneath and just push this up, whereas the big rounds actually take up the whole splitter knife, for lack of better terms, and split it into 6 pieces. So I've got that pile of ash that's cut up. This is what's left over from when George and Cam came over to help. We're going to split it today. So like I stated, after the first run, it seems like the bigger logs work better. The bigger rounds, I should say. Seems like the small ones just get jammed underneath it, and the big ones, that doesn't happen because it also has upward force forcing it down, where the bottom ones are just trying to push it up. I do have some maple up front that you guys might have seen me cut up or not. If not, I'll put the video up top. And so I think we'll check the 6-way on that maple as well. I think maple splits pretty easy, so shouldn't have an issue. I'll grab the big rounds, we'll get to it. By the way, thanks for stopping by. If you've made it this far and you don't know who I am, I'm Elliot. You're watching Everything Elliot. And if you haven't subscribed, hit that button right below this video. So I think I'm running into two problems. Problem A is these rounds aren't big enough for a 6-way because you obviously want the center of the round to hit the center of the wedge, and what's happening is it's hitting lower than the center, forcing the wedge up. And problem number 2 is I don't have a conveyor. So it's not allowing the wood to push all the way through. Normally what happens is my splitter just moves back as the wood pushes up, you know, makes a bigger pile over here. But since it's so muddy back here, the conveyor won't move. So the wood is just piling, and then it's not allowing the wood to get out of its own way. But I think we answered the question. Can you run a 6-way on a 22-ton log splitter? And the answer is maybe. Easy to split stuff like this straight grain dead ash splits easy. I mean, you could probably run an 8-way through this stuff and it would split it just fine. You know, you get into some of the bigger stuff like, or I shouldn't say bigger, I should say harder stuff like locust, hickory, stuff like that. You know, you might run into some trouble with the 6-way. But for everything I'm splitting here today, we can run the 6-way, and it's a tool I can keep in my pocket. I mean, if I can use it, I can use it. If I can't use it, then I just use the 4-way or the single way. The nice thing about the 6-way is it actually splits it smaller than I normally do. Normally I just throw this stuff through the 4-way and call it good enough. My wife complains about that though because the wood pieces are too big for her to handle. You know, she can only put 1 or 2 in the bag and bring it in the house. Versus this smaller stuff, you know, she could pile 8, 9, 10 of them, put it in the bag, carry it in the house, and have a good fire. So, splits wood faster, it'll make the wife happy. That's a win in my books. Theodore? 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 What are you doing way back here? We are nowhere near the shop where you're supposed to be. Oh my goodness. You are very far away from home. Come on. Look at that. You should not be back here, buddy.